Stacey and welcome to the kitchen of my old Kentucky home. Today we're going to be talking about two Kentucky culinary treasures from Winchester, Kentucky, which is about an hour and 20 minutes outside of Louisville. These two treasures are loved throughout the state and they're found in restaurants all over our city and many Louisville kitchens. They are beer cheese and a Winchester favorite, a ginger soda called Ale 8. Let's get started. For our Kentucky beer cheese, we'll need 8 ounces of sharp cheddar. Beer, we're using Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale. Hot sauce, onion powder, garlic, dry mustard, and cayenne pepper. We're ready to make our Kentucky beer cheese, and first we have a couple of prep steps before we put it all into the food processor. I've got my Kentucky Bourbon Barrel Ale that we've heated in the microwave for 45 seconds, and now we need to cube this sharp cheddar that we've got. So while I'm doing that, I want to give you a little history of Kentucky beer cheese. Like I said, it's a Kentucky favorite, but it was created about an hour and 20 minutes from Louisville in a town called Winchester in Clark County. And the story goes like this. It was the 1940s, and there was a restaurant called Johnny Almonds, and his cousin Joseph came to town once, and they were looking for a recipe for something to serve the customers that would make them a little more thirsty, drink a little more beer, kind of like the rolled oyster story in Louisville. And he came up with this snappy beer cheese, and it's just, it's what we're making, or similar recipe, we think. It had a little heat to it, a little kick, so I can attest to it makes you want to drink a little more beer than you usually would. And it's become such a famous item in Winchester that in 2009 they launched the Beer Cheese Festival. I've not been, but I think they get 20,000 people these days and is definitely on my bucket list. I hope you'll add it to yours. Okay, so we've got our cheese cubed. We're going to throw them in the food processor. We're going to add our spices. We'll go in this order. We've got some cayenne. That gives it the nice kick. We've got some dry mustard. Not everybody uses that, but some recipes I found that did. Some garlic. Almost every beer cheese recipe you see uses garlic. Some onion powder. And some hot sauce. And I went a little, I'm not overboard, but a little extra on the hot sauce in a lot of recipes I found using my favorite, Frank's, and we went with a full teaspoon on this. A lot of them called for a quarter. So you can adjust it to your spice level. Okay, get a little noise here. We're gonna start pulsating the food processor. We're gonna get that good and mixed up. And then if you've got one that you can add as you process, that's even better. And we're going to just slowly pour in the heated beer. We're going to wait till it comes to a creamy consistency. And I'm going to prep this as Jessica makes a bourbon and ale 8 cocktail, and we'll come back together and we'll see how this turned out.
Since Stacey is making a Winchester, Kentucky classic, I decided I would use another one for my cocktail. So today we're using Ale 8 soda. This is a ginger soda that was invented in Winchester, Kentucky in 1926, and it's still made and bottled there. And I thought this was funny. They actually had the first ever slogan contest in America at their regional county fair, and a late one won the contest, and it was in reference to it being the latest trend in sodas. So for our drink, we're gonna use Ale 8, Old Fitz, which is actually my mom's favorite inexpensive bourbon, a dash of Grenadine, and we're going to garnish it with a cherry. And you might notice this is similar to a Burly Temple, and this is actually one of Ale 8's cocktails that they call a Burly Temple. We're gonna start with 1.5 ounces of bourbon. And around here, bourbon and Ale 8, a lot of people have that at the bar and at their house. So this is really a kind of a common thing you're gonna find here, and mixing up a little bit with the Grenadine. So we're gonna do just a little splash of the Grenadine for some color, and top it off with our Ale 8, and just add a cherry for garnish. And that's it, the Burly Temple. I mean, Stacey, does Winchester have it going on or what?
I'm telling you, from beer cheese to a cocktail with ale 8, they really do.
Yeah. I mean, these are just things that I don't know what I would do without
I know.
on a regular basis.
And you know, growing up, I knew ale 8 was special, right? But I really,
Local.
yes, but I didn't know beer cheese wasn't a thing outside of our state.
Same here. I was shocked when I realized that every pub or brewery or bar didn't have beer cheese on
Right,
the
because
menu.
it seems so fundamental.
Right.
Of course, there's fondue, Swiss fondue, cheese with beer or wine, and they usually serve it hot. And ours is traditionally served room temp or cold.
Right.
And so the traditional serving, I wanted to tell you when I was a student at UK, one of my favorite places to go was to a place called Halls on the River. I think it's still around on the Kentucky River, and they served their beer cheese with fancy people call it crudite, with just chopped veggies like celery and carrot, and always saltines. So I've got that, and then a lot of times in my family, our go-to is pretzels, and I know you like pretzel bread.
Yes.
Which I tried to find in the bakery this week, but usually I can only get it at the farmer's market, so next time.
One of the more interesting ones I've had was beer cheese poutine.
Oh, that sounds
Ours is
amazing.
awesome, yeah.
I've had it on a burger, and in fact, there's one Louisville restaurant that now has a pimento beer cheese that
I'm
I'd
gonna
like
have to try that, for
That's
sure.
right. Well, day trip to the Beer Cheese Festival in Winchester
I am
next summer, right?
Absolutely in.
Okay.
For sure.
Well, to learn more great recipes from Louisville and Kentucky, check us out at culinarylouisville.com.
And we'll see you next time on Bourbon
And biscuits.
Cheers.
Cheers.